Chikhai Bardo. I don't know, it looks like two guys fighting.
Before we dive into the episode, let's clarify what Chikhai Bardo means. The term originates from Tibetan Buddhism, where it describes one of the 6 transitional states between death and rebirth, a liminal space where one's consciousness navigates between the end of one life and the beginning of another. In Severance, Chikhai Bardo serves as a powerful metaphor for the character's limbo between their old identities and the forced, sterile existences imposed by Lumon Industries. Welcome back to the channel, Severance fans. Today we're diving deep into Season 2, Episode 7, Chikhai Bardo. This episode is a turning point that not only reveals major twists about Gemma's fate, but also ties together threads from Mark's past, the secret testing floor, and the enigmatic procedures Lumon employs. Over the next several minutes, we'll break down the episode scene by scene, analyze every theory and Easter egg, and discuss what it might mean for our characters' futures. Chikhai Bardo masterfully interweaves 3 distinct timelines. Mark's post-reintegration journey. We see Mark recuperating after a severe reintegration-induced seizure. His mind is in turmoil as Devon and Rigabi try desperately to stabilize him. The framing device here is reminiscent of Journey through memory, a kind of liminal state where past and present collide. Flashbacks to Mark and Gemma's relationship. In these sequences, we're taken back to the early days of Mark and Gemma's romance, from their unexpected meet-cute at a blood drive to the bittersweet moments of their shared history. Notice the subtle details like Mark grading essays on World War I and Gemma discussing Tolstoy, which aren't just throwaway moments, but clues that tie their personal narratives to larger themes of trauma and loss. These flashbacks hint at a connection with Lumon that dates back much further than we thought. Gemma's ordeal on the testing floor. Perhaps the most disturbing and revelatory aspect of the episode is Gemma's current situation. We learn that instead of one, there are multiple innies of Gemma, each confined to different specialized rooms on Lumon's testing floor. Every time Outie Gemma enters a new room, the corresponding innie is forced to undergo a brutal, almost ritualistic experiment. Whether it's the excruciating dental procedure, simulated airplane turbulence, or endless thank you note writing, each test is designed to push the severance barrier to its limits. The blood drive meet-cute. One of the earliest flashback moments shows Mark and Gemma meeting while donating blood. This isn't merely sentimental nostalgia. The blood drive equipment even bears the Lumon water drop logo, foreshadowing that their lives have been intertwined with Lumon's machinations since the very beginning. Literary references. The dialogue is rich with references. Mark's essay on drug use by World War I soldiers and Gemma's focus on Tolstoy's The Death of Ivan Ilyich serve as metaphors for detachment and the inevitability of death. There's also a nod to the famous duck-rabbit illusion when Gemma explains that it's the same guy fighting himself, a clever parallel to the duality of a severed self.
The same guy fighting himself, defeating his own psyche. Ego death.
Gemma's testing floor trials. Every room on the testing floor is named after one of Mark's completed files, from Allentown to Cold Harbor. Each room imposes a different torment. In one, Gemma is forced to write thank you notes until her hand cramps. In another, she endures a simulation of a crashing airplane. These seemingly arbitrary tasks are laden with symbolism. For example, the room Cold Harbor isn't just a file name. It references one of the bloodiest battles in American history, hinting at the violent erasure of emotion and identity that Lumon might be aiming for.
He's stuck at 96%.
Dr. Mauer's multiple personas. Dr. Mauer, played by Robbie Benson, is central to understanding Lumon's twisted experiments. He appears in several guises, whether as a dentist, a flight attendant, or even the cursed Christmas husband. His shifting roles not only unsettle Gemma, but also underscore his obsession with her. In one chilling scene, when Gemma asks about the untouched Cold Harbor room, Mauer enigmatically replies,
You will see the world again, and the world will see you.
This line hints at a sinister promise of rebirth, or perhaps erasure. The Buttsman Fertility Center Easter egg. Flashbacks reveal that Dr. Maurer once worked at the Butzman Fertility Center, a name that, when translated from German, means boogeyman. This subtle detail suggests that Lumon's control over its employees might extend even to the most personal aspects of life, such as fertility and reproduction. Gemma's own struggles with IVF and miscarriage tied directly into these revelations, deepening the tragedy of her character. Visual and directorial style. Director Jessica Lee Gagney's debut behind the camera is noteworthy. The flashbacks are shot on film, lending them a grainy, nostalgic quality that contrasts sharply with the sterile, hypermodern environment of Lumon. This visual contrast reinforces the central theme of memory versus manufactured reality. Critics have praised the episode for its arresting portrait of Mark's fragmented psyche, achieved through evocative lighting cues and unconventional scene transitions. Other mysterious elements. Rigabi's ominous presence, Rigabi's erratic behavior, and her whispered promise to sew together a version of Mark that loves her raise questions about her ultimate allegiance and the extent of Lumon's manipulation. The man in the hallway. A shadowy figure briefly appears in the background, a mysterious man in hallway credited to actor Adam Jepson. His brief cameo has sparked theories about hidden overseers within Lumon's labyrinthine corridors. Water imagery. Lumon's logo, a water drop, is omnipresent. From water towers in the parking lot to the water symbols on medical equipment and patient forms, these recurring images hint at themes of cleansing, rebirth, or even the scarcity of genuine human emotion.
Pakir.
There are several theories swirling around this episode. Corporate slavery through Severance. Some fans theorize that Lumon's ultimate goal is to create a workforce of emotionless, efficient corporate slaves by subjecting employees like Gemma to continuous, dehumanizing tests. Lumon may be attempting to strip away the human capacity for emotion, thereby preventing the very kinds of attachments that could undermine corporate control. Duality and rebirth, the Tibetan connection. The term Chikhai Bardo itself refers to one of the transitional states in Tibetan Buddhism, describing the period between life and death. In Severance, it suggests that both Mark and Gemma are caught in a limbo between their former lives and a new, manufactured existence. This theory is bolstered by Gemma's recurring question about whether she'll ever see the world again, and by Mark's fragmented recollections of his past. Mark's reintegration and its consequences. Throughout the episode, hints abound that Mark's reintegration is not just a recovery process. It's a potential path toward a more complete merger of his outie and innie selves. However, this merging might come at a steep cost. Some believe that if Mark does fully reintegrate, it could result in the loss of the unique qualities that made his past relationship with Gemma so special, effectively dooming them both to the cold, emotionless reality of Lumon's design. The role of Dr. Maurer and his obsession. Dr. Maurer's actions suggest a deep, almost twisted love for Gemma. His multiple roles on the testing floor could indicate that he sees each version of Gemma as a piece of a larger puzzle. A puzzle that, once solved, might reveal the true nature of Lumon's experiments. Some speculate that Maurer's behavior is a key to understanding how Lumon plans to perfect this severance process. Hidden connections to the past. The recurring imagery of water and historical references, like Cold Harbor and the blood drive, suggests that Lumon has been manipulating its employees for decades, even before the severance process was introduced. The flashbacks of Mark and Gemma's pre-Lumon life, coupled with subtle nods to historical events and literary works, imply that their destinies were intertwined long before they ever stepped into a Lumon facility. Chikhai Bardo is more than just an episode, it's a turning point. By blending personal tragedy with corporate horror, it challenges us to think about memory, identity, and what it means to be truly human in a system designed to strip away individuality. From the beautifully shot flashbacks to the chilling experiments on the testing floor, every frame is loaded with clues and hidden meanings that reward multiple viewings. Whether Lumon is simply creating emotionless workers or orchestrating something far more sinister, this episode leaves us with tantalizing questions that will fuel theories until the season's finale. And while many details remain shrouded in mystery, from the true intentions behind the severance process to the fate of characters like Rigabi and the man in hallway, one thing is clear: Severance continues to raise the bar for smart, thought-provoking television. Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Chikhai Bardo, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth analyses and theory discussions. Let me know in the comments which Easter egg or theory blew your mind the most.